Not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. Good afternoon. It's 12:05 Houston time, Central Time, here to answer any of your questions. Friends, today's topic is, should I apply for citizenship with a criminal history? And it depends on your situation, yes or no. Welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice law in all 50 states of America and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem or maybe even preventing it from happening in the first place. So that is why we go live practically every day if we can, except the weekends, because my family wants me to focus on family from time to time. Try my best. We do as best we can for the immigration law business to help you get legal status, but I also need to focus on family too, as of course it's important to you to be together with family. I know a lot of people have been delayed their immigration status, and unfortunately some of those people are abroad. So of course I understand, I acknowledge the situation of people being separated because of inefficiency of U.S. government, if lack of a better phrase. Maybe, I don't say they don't care, they just have a lot of applicants. And anyways, you've probably heard me go live, talk about that, rant about these unreasonable delays, and that's why we sue the government, help you get your legal status sooner. I talk about a lot of different types of cases, so I'm happy to talk about VAWA, but for right now, I want to answer this question about should I apply for citizenship with a criminal record? Of course, number one, like I said before, it depends. And it depends really about the timing and also the type of crime. Now, of course, some of y'all have called us, told us about your traffic ticket, and those, at least in Texas, it's considered like a municipal. It goes to municipal court, so your local level, like a city or town. And so that's not a concern. But what you should be concerned about is what I'm about to share with you on my screen, at least on, I can do that on YouTube and Facebook. So folks, welcome to the show. If you appreciate the way we share content, answer questions, and of course, answer the main topic of the day, please tap the screen on TickTok, hit the thumbs up, show us some love, hit the hearts on Instagram, at your preferred platform, all these social media platforms. I have no idea the algorithm, but my marketing team asked me that if you know anyone who has an immigration question, please share our video, please share our channel with someone that you care about. Of course, if you don't care about them, I get it, that's cool. But let us know how you're doing. This Thursday, July 20th, as I'm going live, of course, we have competing deadlines with clients. But as I always like to share more information with y'all, essentially, let me answer the topic of the day. Should I apply for citizenship with a criminal record? Let me share my screen. Before I even talk with a lawyer, I recommend y'all go to this website. USCIS website, they don't share everything, but they have pretty good information. So you can see here I've highlighted naturalization requirements, a good moral character. There's a lot about this in general. The first thing I want to share with you, I think it'll be here. Okay, I'm clicking on Part F, good moral character. Let me increase the size a bit. Appreciate y'all joining, even those who are clients currently. I hope you appreciate our service in the sense that we try our best to respond to you in 24 to 48 hours. Even if it's a question that is not quote unquote emergency, we do believe it's important that clients are updated. And that could be proactive or reactive in responding to your question. But generally we're trying to do better. We have some team members that only focus on updating clients, even if it's just checking the USCIS website or checking if your court case, immigration court, has changed a court hearing, or in the sense that it's going to be earlier, or maybe it got dismissed. So it's a pretty good service that we're trying to provide. Now I'm here on the policy manual. By the way, I do speak a little fast just because I have a lack of a better phrase, a shit ton of information to share. So if you want me to slow down my talking, I'm going to be honest with you. I generally am not going to do that. So you're just going to have to contact us, okay, on Facebook and YouTube. You can give us a call at this number right here, 720-740-4247. Or just if you're a little shy, don't want to talk with our CARES team specialist, I get it. Or you're busy at work, just go to our website, greencardguys.com, click on Contact Us, or go to Free Visa Quiz to answer just a couple questions so we understand your case a little better and save you some time on the phone. I know with the pandemic now or post-pandemic, some of y'all a bit shy. So, but we welcome it. If you want to come hang out at our Houston office, we do have a physical office. I know a lot of lawyers on social media trying to say, hey, I work remotely, blah, blah, blah. We have a physical office. We're the real deal. You can see our Google reviews. We have over 300, over two locations at least. Okay, so here we are. I want to show you here Chapter 5, conditional bars. And after this bit about this topic, then I'll answer your questions. Thanks for your patience. Okay, so Chapter 5, you need to know the conditional bars for the acts in the statutory period. They say statutory period because if you had, it's a 3 or 5 year rule. If you got your residency through a spouse, U.S. citizen spouse, then it's 3 years of good moral character period. However, sometimes people get divorced, blah, 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 or others people get resident status through work or other family members. Then it'd be the 5-year good moral character period. Honestly, don't know why they do that. I would think they just keep it 5 years to make it simple for everyone. I mean, to be honest, like if I were thinking as a government officer or Congress, like why would it be less for someone who has been married to a U.S. citizen? Like why is there a difference? Doesn't make sense to me, honestly. But you want to take advantage of it. That's just the way the rules are. The law is. So, so here are conditional bars, meaning. Well, let me start with this general rule perspective. As even though you may have waited this time period of 3 years or the 5 years. Now, the 3 or 5 years I just mentioned, even if you had a crime and you waited that time period, so it's outside that period, technically they can still use that against you. So, but it's always better to apply when you have a clean record, no arrest, not even probation period is overlapped with that, because even though you complete your probation, you may have completed your probation during that time period, and it's okay to apply for citizenship during that time. If you just want less and less scrutiny, I would just wait until after even the probation period was completed, and then you start that timing of the 3 or 5 years. Okay. Now there's a whole bunch of rules about continuous presence, continuous physical presence in America, how many months you can stay out, or requirements about when you don't have to take parts of the test in English and you can take it in your language of preference. We're not talking about that today. Today we're just talking about crimes, okay, as much overview as possible. Okay, so here are some of the list of conditional bars. 1 or more crimes involving moral turpitude, aside for the exceptions, what we call petty offense exception. Aggregate a sentence of 5 years or more, meaning if you had 2 or more criminal offenses, crimes, that the sentence itself doesn't mean you actually had to serve that amount of time in jail, but the criminal law, the code in your state where you had that, or country, the crime doesn't have to actually have been in America. It could be abroad, it could be in a different country. So you have to disclose that as well. Controlled substance violation. Let's see, incarceration, this situation, meaning actually in jail, in prison, only for 100 days or for a period of 180 days or more. False testimony under oath, prostitution offense, smuggling of a person, polygamy. That'd be interesting to tell your relatives. Maybe they don't care if it's your relatives. Gambling offenses, habitual drunkard. Now, gambling offenses, I know a lot of y'all addicted to social media, to poker online. Honestly, you also chill it a bit on that. I mean, put that money into investments. Maybe you do that too. I'm not trying to get involved in your life, but man, a lot of people I just hear about a lot of horrible stories. People, just people I know closer to me that have been addicted to gambling. So yeah, just not worth it. Like some people put their house on, give away their house because of it. Family members don't care about them anymore because of their addiction to gambling, among other things. But yeah, I don't want to say they don't care about them anymore, but just a lot of headache all around. So, anyways, back to this, my personal aside. Habitual drunkard, 2 or more of convictions of DWI or DUI, depends on the state. Failure to support your dependents. So for those who have to pay child support, this is where it's important. It's not a factor when you're applying to become a resident, but it is a factor when an issue when you have a crime about it, a criminal offense about it, and you're wanting to apply for naturalization, become a U.S. citizen. Adultery, okay, and unlawful acts. So unlawful acts is basically a catch-all phrase saying, look, if you admit to doing unlawful acts, not necessarily a crime, meaning not having gone through the criminal court or anything, they can use that against you too. So you want to tell the truth, but maybe be careful how you share that information, okay? Now, so maybe don't steal a candy bar or something a bit more serious than that, and all of a sudden share that information. Yeah. Welcome. If you enjoy the way we share content, information, and you get value from this kind of information, tap the screen for hearts. I greatly appreciate it. Click on the heart or tap on the screen, click on the hearts or the thumbs up. And all right, so that is the conditional bar. And there's another page about permanent bar. So if you have a permanent bar, like such as aggravated felony, yeah, you don't want to apply. Save your money on that one. Because as you may know, if you have been just chilling with resident status and you got lucky that you got convicted on these permanent bars and somehow they didn't transfer you to ICE detention center, then you got real lucky. So you want to, A is murder, B is aggravated felony. Now keep in mind, aggravated felonies has this long list. Okay, y'all on Facebook and YouTube can see this. But aside from this long list, it's on a state level where your criminal offense would have happened or another country, they wouldn't put on the state those criminal record or disposition the term aggravated felony. This is a term in the immigration context and immigration law. All right, so yeah, money laundering, if anything, keep it under 10,000, not over 10 G's. Okay, all right. Let's see here. Someone actually contacted us a couple weeks ago about arson. They already got convicted of arson a couple years ago. They wouldn't waste their time. We can't help you with that one. But in general, if you have a criminal offense, meaning you have not been convicted, you have not signed a plea bargain before, not yet, and maybe you just got indicted, you got charged, you just got sent to jail, and you just got out, contact a criminal defense lawyer, okay? The public defenders try to do the best they can. They have a lot of cases. So, and if they're a public defender, they care about helping people, but just a human nature, they have so many cases. So if you want the best, super best representation, can't guarantee about other criminal defense lawyers. We don't practice criminal defense. We share an office with one, but you need to find one in your state. You need to do your due diligence. Just ask them questions. If they sound knowledgeable, that's step number one. Read their Google reviews, okay? But you want to definitely get a criminal defense lawyer before you sign a plea bargain, before you're convicted in a trial or anything like that, okay? Don't let the prosecutors trick you in a sense of like, oh, it's no problem. You're going to get probation, no time in jail. Yeah, unfortunately, we had a lot of calls about this. You definitely want a criminal defense lawyer represent you, okay? Anyway, there's a long list. Severe violations of religious freedom, which makes sense in America because we have freedom of religion, fortunately. torture, extrajudicial killings, meaning not authorized by the government, and then genocide and Nazi persecution. So, fortunately, we don't get calls about people in those scenarios, but just wanted to give you an idea. Hey, Big Bill, on YouTube, the best way to do that is go to our website, greencardguys.com, click on contact us if you want a consultation. And if you go to that website, it'll give you the link after you fill out the form to self-schedule. Now, our CARES team member will give you a call in 24 hours of a business day. At least they're trying their best. We get a lot of inquiries, okay, got a lot of requests, and they'll see if there's a way we can guide you. If not, then they won't. We'll try our best not to waste your time, honestly. But otherwise, if you want to hang out and talk with one of our CARES members, you can give us a call at the number above. For the folks on Instagram and TikTok, the number is 720-740-4247. I hope saying out loud on TikTok is okay. Apparently, they don't like us putting it on the videos. That's what I've heard. So, yes, Antonio, this is only about applying to become a citizen. There's other rules, other scenarios, other concerns when related to applying to become a resident. So unfortunately, applying to become a resident, they don't have this nice long list here. So that's when you definitely need to speak with a lawyer. Okay. It would be nice if they put it down in here. Someone did. So that, I mean, I could go on and on about that, but I see there's a lot of questions. So I'm happy to get to that. But one quick thing, because I did see a comment about on TikTok, that person is not allowed with 100 feet of children. So I don't know if your restraining order or temporary order is related to children, but typically, even if it's about a spouse, it would have it about the children as well. But I bring up the Adam Walsh Act. So if essentially you have this comes up, like if you have been convicted or have signed a plea bargain, basically have a conviction about crimes involving children. I won't go into full detail, but this is most important when this is a red alert essentially for USCIS, especially if you're filing for fiance visa. I don't know why they don't have that kind of red alert when someone's sponsoring someone for residency only directly, like after marriage. But when it comes to fiance visa, they definitely have that as a part of their workflow. Okay, so good afternoon, Gasant. Shout out to you, Antonio. Good afternoon. Protensky, good afternoon. Thanks for joining again. I recognize your name. Danica. So I'll get to each platform. I'll move around between each platform and try to help you out. Danica, you said, your case approved, but USCIS retained it. What is possible that we can do? I'm not quite sure what you mean by retain. Maybe they haven't provided you the resident card yet. Let's see if you have a follow-up on that. Is that what you mean? Your resident 485 application was approved, but you haven't received the card. So I actually have a client that happened to in the past month or two. I believe she was approved about at least 2 months ago. She actually was approved about 1 day after we provided the medical exam, and her case did not require interview. So it was great. It was real quick. But unfortunately, I think because of typically they their workflow internally, as soon as someone's approved at the field office, USCIS field office, somehow internally they notify SSA to issue out a social security number if you haven't received one already. I mean, it depends on what you marked on the 765 application, or maybe you didn't file 765, then they would anyway. The production of the green card is typically done internally. So the law firm, attorney, you don't have to do anything about that. But because my client had not received the card in about 2 months, we submitted an inquiry, and now they emailed us saying that they're going to produce it. So maybe that's the situation you have. Okay, Danica, I'm not sure. Mooney, you said you have been refused 221G for 90 days and recently given the DS5535 to fill out. It's been about 23 days now. Do you have a chance of getting it cleared before September 30th? Can't say. I wish I could tell you. I wish I had more more information on that. I wish I had direct knowledge on how soon, and even if you said a specific embassy, I don't want to assume which embassy, but Islamabad embassy in Pakistan tends to have more issues about this. I mean, a lot of other consulates embassies do this, but Islamabad is the one that we get most of our inquiries um, on this because more people, more applicants get this issue. So I can't promise to you when or even an idea how soon you can get your visa or when the 221G would clear. Essentially, right now they're trying to check your criminal history, or even if you didn't have criminal history, any possible ties to, like, I hate to say this, terrorist organization, that type of situation. So they're really concerned about national security. In fact, they're unfortunately so concerned about national security that they've tagged a couple of our clients to say espionage, inadmissibility. Espionage. You remember the whole thing about the Russian war and on Ukraine and the Chinese spy balloon. I don't know what to think about the spy balloon, but unfortunately, they tagged one of our clients about it. I can't go into full detail, but it was just so timely that the consular embassy just said, "Oh, no visa anymore. You're about to get it, but yeah, Chinese spy balloon, political reasons. We're gonna stop your visa being issued." So it's pretty ridiculous. So even if you personally had no ties to espionage activities or actually conducted espionage activity, they could still tag you with it for political reasons. So I'm sorry for those folks that have that situation. Okay, so let me move to TikTok. Your comments on here. I'm not going to answer everyone on TikTok because some of y'all have some non-related immigration questions. Okay, let's see. You're new here, Dora. Okay, welcome. Someone said, why? Oh, wow, that's a lot of comments. Thanks, y'all. Let's see. Can you, Antonio, and on TikTok ask, can I ask how about the people who flee to America from Laos after Vietnam War? Yeah, absolutely. You said they were at the American refugee camps in Thailand, but they thought they never needed to apply. I don't know if it was you or someone else mentioned something like this, but yeah, you definitely want to, after being a refugee, definitely want to be applying to apply for residence status as soon as possible. In fact, I don't know, because of the socioeconomic situation, especially back, I've heard this a lot. I've seen Netflix documentaries about this, that, there's Asian American gangs also. So people, I think that, that happened to some refugees or classified as refugees, but did not apply to become a resident and then a citizen. Then unfortunately, even though you're a refugee, they can stop you from becoming a citizen. So if you know anyone in a situation, hopefully they have a clean record. Even if they have the crime, they might be possible to apply for residency and then for citizenship. So we're happy to see if we can answer their questions. Okay, Jay, good day to you. Wish you also nothing but success. And Hal asks, can the USA track? Not sure what you mean by that. Track what? Stevie, can I explain evidence to I-30A? So I-30A doesn't necessarily ask for, well, let me say, we usually mention mention the evidence with the petition in general, but I-30A, if anyone's not familiar with that, that's for folks who are married to a U.S. citizen. Let's see here. So let me check the instruction page for this. But if you look at the I-30 instructions, let's see. See if I can pull it up real quick. I will try to answer all y'all's questions. I will get to it soon. Okay. Just bear with me, please. Because anytime I answer questions, I like to share my screen. I mean, at least on YouTube and Facebook, I'm allowed to do that. or I can do that. So, but I think you mean maybe the evidence for the I-130 in general. Let's see. So essentially, if you're just wondering about evident marriage evidence, then yeah, because there's actually an instruction page about the I-38. Thought I was going crazy for a second. So, but yeah, evidence. The main one is shared bank account. Okay, and not just that you created the account or joined the other person's. You have to show activity, preferably. Now, look, if you have already created that account like several months ago, then you have to show activity. It can't just be like a couple of transactions. I know some of y'all in a hurry want to file your case, get that work permit. I get it. Actually, like resident card is coming faster than work permit if it's through marriage case to U.S. citizen. So hopefully that can give you an idea. So with that being said, our law firm, the way we do it, we provide a check, like our proven checklist. If you don't follow the checklist, we try to, you schedule a meeting. We try to think of things outside the box. Okay. It's not for everyone. It depends on your scenario, how you live your life with your spouse and whatnot. Um, Hopefully you live together. Some of y'all don't live together because you're abroad or you work in a different city, different state. I get it. Then we could definitely think of other ways and, showing your communication, how often you communicate. Now, look, if you're saying you're married to someone and your WhatsApp or your Facebook message is like one every week, yeah, USCIS is going to think that's a little strange. Or your phone records, yeah. So maybe you want to bump up those phone calls a little bit more frequently. Be all a bit funny here. Okay, how many days does it take to get green card after arriving U.S. DV lottery? Essentially, I'm not sure about this, but in general, when you get an immigrant visa, you have to pay $220, I think it is, for the production fee on that. So you have to go to their USCIS website about how to pay it if you haven't already. So unfortunately, you got to pay one more fee for that if you haven't paid anything already. So someone needs green cards, like 100 of them. Yeah, I can tell you that. We want to help as many people as possible based on the capacity. So unfortunately, sometimes we have to tell people, here's a list of other lawyers that can help you because of our capacity this month. We try to be as transparent as possible on how soon we can file a case. But look, if some people want to hire us, definitely. But then we say, look, I mean, maybe pick our pro plan because we intentionally want to file your case in 60 days. That's 2 months, right? So, or light plan, that's in 3 months. But otherwise, if folks want us to work in your case sooner, we do have the max plan, and that is we file your case in 30 days. Okay, so that kind of give you an idea. Dan, I think you're trying to be funny. I hope you're trying to be funny, but yeah, if you do what your message said, then that would be considered trafficking. Okay, so not a good idea, buddy. All right. Someone says apparently you can't choke the chicken while driving a school bus. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Y'all are trying to be a bit funny here. Did I know 100% of gamblers quit before winning big? Okay, good one. Happy to consider collabing. Okay, Sean, send me a message if you can, and my marketing team will get in touch with you. Dora asked, you have been waiting since August 20th, 21 for renewal of permanent residency. Can I help? Renewing residency? Okay, so in terms of renewing residency, if you mean removing conditions, like do you have the 2-year resident? I think you mean you have the 2-year resident card. Is that what you have? Condition, remove conditions. So internally, we try to call it like, think of it like probation in a way. Because if you have the 2-year resident status, conditional resident status, then you have to file another application called 751 to quote unquote remove those conditions. So maybe that's what you have. But if you have that status, but you file a different form, I-90, that is the wrong form. Okay. So unfortunately, I-90, it actually does say renew or replace resident card, like if people lost it. And you would think again as like a rubber stamp type of application, but it could take like a year. Okay, it takes so long that honestly we don't really help with that form directly unless we include it with someone who wants to apply to become a citizen. Okay, Let's see here. So hopefully that helps. Okay. Let's see. But yeah, in terms of the 751, if you have conditional resident status and you did file a 751 and it's been at least 3 years of having resident status in general, you can apply to become a citizen. The N400 application. All right, you can actually do it online. Um, Fortunately, or of course, it'll be our pleasure for our team to assist you. But ultimately, you want to. I mean, of course, if you want to become a U.S. citizen, I mean, I encourage it so that eventually you can vote in the future. But the thing is, that is what helps push the 751 to be approved, or at least make a decision on it by the USCIS officer. Because the most recent update, probably about 6 months ago by now, is that when you file the 751 application to remove those conditions, they'll send you a receipt notice saying your status is automatically granted until for another 48 months. So what is that, 4 years? That's pretty amazing. So it sounds like a good deal. It's like good or bad, but the bad thing is like they recognize that they're totally slow. That's ridiculous, right? It's so slow they have to back it up 4 years. Kind of ridiculous. So uh I Stritch, is that how I say your Insta name? Yes, we do help with folks in the New York area. To be honest, we don't have an office in New York right now. It's just a lot more to manage, but we do help clients who live in any state, any country. So we're happy to help, and we can try to see. Do you have a optometrist? That would be good, like Stritch, if that's your optometry name. Um, Times Square shopping. Your question is, how long does the Cleveland field office to make a decision on I-130? Your case been 420 days today. Your service center was in California. So if it's only the I-130 and you didn't file 485, then it would not go to the field office, the 1 year where you live. It'd be typically the service center that would make a decision on your I-130. Okay. The field office typically handles the 45. So hopefully that helps. Believer Scrum. How long does VAWA case take to get approval? Depends if you file only the I-360 or with the 485, but it does take several years. It's just not being prioritized like marriage cases to U.S. citizen. And if your abuser or perpetrator was a citizen, then it's a bit faster than others. All right, so hopefully that helps y'all out. Cardozo, do I talk about VAWA? I'm sorry, U visa. Yeah, we talk about VAWA and U visa. So if you have a specific question about it, happy to share. But in general, the thing about to know about U visa, if y'all don't know about U visa in general, it is for folks who've been victims of a crime. So, I mean, it's a long list of potential crimes, but they do have a section, even if it's not on the USCIS list. I'll see if I can find it for y'all. But if it's not on that list, there's one that's kind of like a catch-all, so you can still try to argue that it's, or we could argue for you, of course, technically to law enforcement first. Let me see if I can share my screen again. Okay, so there it is. Here is the page about U visa on USCIS webpage. Okay, then they have this list about qualifying criminal activities where you were the victim of, even abduction, blackmail, extortion. So crimes that you would not normally think would be something, because most people think like it's, of course, like kidnapping, hostage, or assault. But some people think there's stalking here. There's witness tampering, and there it is on below, other related crimes. So let's see, or assault. Let's see here. Actually, assault's not technically mentioned here. Otherwise, I mean, it's just felonious assault. But even if it was like not a felony, but a misdemeanor, that counts. Okay. And some people have actually, we've had a client, we got residency, U visa, their residency for, that was a victim of drinking, driving, like a driver hit his car, unfortunately. So very sad situation, but fortunately he's okay now. But yeah, that counted. That's not on the list, right? So you definitely want to talk with an immigration lawyer to see if we can help you out. And even if we don't think it could fit under this, we still would like to help you contact law enforcement to just try. Because ultimately, if you're in a situation you were a victim of a crime, number one, you need to call 911. Or if it's after the fact, you need to go to the police department, write down your report, file a police report, okay? And of course, tell the truth. That's number one, or along with that. So you got to tell the truth because ultimately you got to cooperate. If they call you, detective calls you, police department, sheriff, whoever calls you, the district attorney's office, you have to cooperate because part of the U visa application is having a certification form signed by the law enforcement agency. Now, the person you speak with, detective or attorney, may not necessarily be the one who is authorized to sign these certification forms. It has to be a specific person within that office. Okay. So that's part of our representation to help you get that certification and show other proof for U visa. Because it's one of those, like, once you get it, it's a long wait time. It's about average 5 years after you apply to get the actual U visa. And that's not the green card, that's just the visa. Then after 3 years of it, you have to, I mean, you don't have to, but your U visa is eventually going to expire. Okay. And then, so at the 3 year mark, we put on a calendar, we file for residency. It's a separate contract for us because it's such a long wait time, but we do help with that. But you don't want to wait past 4 year mark of U visa because number one, U visa expires. And number two, you have to show extraordinary facts that meet extraordinary circumstances. Say, why didn't you file to become a resident sooner? Because U visa expired. So it's a very frustrating situation for folks who may have forgotten, but that's part of hiring a lawyer. At least for us, we put it in a calendar. We put it like 3 to 5 months before a certain visa or status expires, so that we can take proactive steps to get you essentially upgrade your status to the next level up. Okay. Uh, yeah, man, I realize I talk so fast. Sorry, there's just so much. Okay, more people comment on TikTok. Thanks for y'all's questions. Let's see. Someone said they wish there was another amnesty. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, of course, I would be busy. Other lawyers would be busy, but we'll have to Trump. But yeah, amnesty bill. It's just a bill right now, proposal. I hate to say, even though in a Biden administration where things are better immigration wise, in terms of getting the getting the visa, getting the green card, Biden doesn't control Congress, right? It's a different branch of government. Some of y'all know that, some don't, who complain more, honestly. But like, I mean, I would think actually under Trump, he could have passed it. He allegedly said he was for immigration, but yeah, his actions didn't show that. So it was like he was trying to play both sides. I mean, I guess they all kind of do try to, but oh, snap. Daniel Riley, you said Orioles just traded for Otani. Nice. Thanks for letting me know. I mean, I don't follow him, but I'm familiar with him. I think he was playing for LA Angels before. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. The Trump's wall, yeah, I think only part of it's built and didn't work, apparently. Requires more money. Let's see here. I can only be live for another 5 minutes. Let's see. I-130 is taking longer than usual, so you contact your. I mean, I'm assuming you have a lawyer, but yeah, definitely, or maybe you don't. By the way you phrase your question, happy to see if we can help you, Sandy the foodie. What's your favorite food? Let's see. But we're happy to take a look. I mean, depends how, depending on how long it has been. If it's only been 12 months, I mean, I don't want to say only, that's still a long time, but if it's been more than 12 months and it's petition only, we could take a look at that for you. Okay. See if we file a Mandamus lawsuit. But if it's I-130 only, typically want to wait at least 12 months. Dora, you said it's been 3 years. What did you file? Did you file the 751? Okay, I was trying to see if your other comments, if you're still here. Okay, Sandy, looking forward to it. But 3 years for conditional resident? Is that what you are, your status? Or you can send me a message later. Folks, the best way to contact us if you've just joined is our phone number, 720-740-4247. Or honestly, save you and our team more time. Answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. And you can get a lot of information there. You can scroll down on the main page, and there is a link to a free guide for investors who want to start a business in America. Employment-based, if you're an employer, you're HR, or you have decision-making power within in the company, or family-based. We're happy to help you, okay? I think we might have one for students also. My marketing team handles that part. They just want me to verify the legal language, of course. Elpercy offers said your citizenship decision is going to be sent, but haven't heard from them since May. Okay, so Elpercy, if it's been 120 days, or in general, the USCIS policy manual is for citizenship. This is the only spot where they actually write it out. See if I can find it, but it's 120 days. You haven't received a decision after an interview, you can sue them. Okay, it's the only one that actually mentions it in verbiage. Okay, other ones we have to wait what they call unreasonable delay, which depends on the application and the status of the case. So May, June, July. So you probably have to wait about 2 more months, it sounds like. Let's see. Candy, you ask, can you be a removal proceeding and still file AOS married to U.S. citizen before I guess they continue your case? Yes. You're married to a U.S. citizen, file the I-130. I wouldn't file the I-45 yet. I mean, you could, but when USCIS sees that your removal proceedings, they're going to admin close your 485 at least. So yeah, usually for us, we only need the petition and the evidence of marriage to get your case dismissed at a court. So even though we're in Houston, Texas, we can help you for if your case is a different city. Okay. One of the trial attorneys with Department of Homeland Security actually emailed us the other day before the court hearing, which we have next week. So that's a new thing. They typically don't do that, but I think because of the change with the essentially the Supreme Court, I don't want to call it change, but the Supreme Court in middle of June said that states cannot get involved or they don't have legal standing to essentially try to change or stop the executive branch's enforcement policy, immigration enforcement policy. Okay, so, or they want to say lack thereof, but it's a priority enforcement, okay, memo. So that could help. Anyway, long story short, that can help with possible prosecutorial discretion to get your case dismissed from court. Oh, per se, you're said, or I think I answered that question. Whale, your marriage-based EAD has been pending for 10.5 months. Is this normal? 10.5 months. 10.5 months, that means you filed your actual 45 about 10.5 months ago. So that was before the new trend in 2023 for cases to have even waived the interview for the 485 based on marriage. So yeah, unfortunately, I guess it could be normal. I mean, not too normal. It's more normal that people are getting green cards before even the work permit. But consider trying to submit. I want to say submit, but call USCIS. It's crazy. It's been hard for us even the past month to get through the freaking USCIS customer service bots. They're finding ways to stop us from even freaking talking to a human. So online, unfortunately, USCIS.gov does not have an online submission for expedite requests because I could imagine there's going to be so many requests. I mean, if I were the government or a vendor for them that helps with their website, I would just have them put in like, okay, if it meets their emergency circumstances or work for a nonprofit or something like that, that needs a status sooner, or job loss, then they should do like the multiple choice type of situation or drop down. If it doesn't, if you don't meet that standard, then they don't let you fill out the form. That would be nice, but they don't have that. So you have to call in to submit your expedite request. Okay, so you could try that way. Hopefully that helps. Dwayne, what about someone who's won RS? I think you mean refugee status, but never been convicted. Yeah, apply to become a resident when you're eligible. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. That's it for TikTok. Now Instagram, greatness, baby. You filed the I-360 separately and was approved. Okay, great. You want to file for residency? How many months will it be approved? So once you file it, you just have to follow the processing timetable. I mean, could be 12 months. They're just not prioritizing VAWA 485 type. Okay, so they're just focusing on. I mean, they're prioritizing marriage cases for the 485. I don't know why they do that. I mean, you would think because someone's been a victim of a crime or VAWA that they process those faster. Sorry, that's not the answer you're probably looking for. Okay, folks. So those that are just joined, we do offer a strategy session at no cost to you for 15 minutes. I get it. Some of y'all want more time. We believe we can provide you the suggested solution within 15 minutes because our CARES team specialist will call you back and ask some questions. Really save time. I mean, some lawyers I know, I've been telling lawyers like, you don't need to charge people for an hour's worth of time as long as you train your team to ask certain appropriate questions, right? So then they don't have to charge people. I get it. I mean, a lot of lawyers try to think like doctors in a sense like, yeah, look, if you're coming for service, even if it's for a consultation, you should pay for it. I know a lot of lawyers are stubborn for that. We don't do that. We try to get it done in 15 minutes. So anyways, my phone needs to be charged, I guess, on all these phones. Jesse, thanks for your question. Thanks for tagging us in the past. Appreciate that. How is everything with Mandamus lawsuit? Are they getting approved by the court? So fortunately, most of our cases don't require a judge to get involved. It's really about negotiating with the U.S. attorney, getting them to agree to issue the visa, or contacting USCIS to let us know, hey, is there going to be a freaking RFE on the case, or are they just going to issue a decision because our client's been waiting for several years or several months, right? So. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. But yeah, I think you've contacted our office before. But in terms of waiver cases, those have been like the processing time schedule I checked the other day. It's like 40 plus months. But you don't have regardless what application is, you don't have to wait for the actual timing. On their actual, what do you call it? On the timetable. You don't have to wait on the posted time because ultimately internally with USCIS, they could just change it like however they want. They could change it every week, which it does appear to be that way, in my opinion. Hopefully it helps. If we can help you, let us know, but I think you know what to do. Okay, on TikTok, this guy, my last two questions here. Try my best to answer. Fabi, you got residency 45 approved, but the 2-year one is the next process. Is complicated again? No, I wouldn't say it's complicated, but it's annoying. Okay, the 751 process, remove conditions. I was just talking about earlier, so you may have missed it, but I'll record a video about it, the 751, and some tips about that. So Fabi, you're on TikTok. Please follow us on greencardguys.tv, and that's our YouTube channel. Okay, and I'll see if I can post one here on TikTok as well. Appreciate it, Jesse. Thank you so much again for sharing our information with others. Really appreciate that. My marketing team told me about it. Gilvet 5523. When can I apply for citizenship after GC by VAWA divorced the U.S. citizen? I think it's. Whew, I have to check. They may allow you a 3-year rule as well, but I have to check on that because if it's based on VAWA. But of course, you may know the default is 5 years. I'll see if I can record a video about that. Let me write this down before I forget. I know I'm promising a couple videos. Okay, write this down. And then citizenship after VAWA. GC. Okay, great questions. Thank you so much. Just don't want to provide you all the wrong information. So yeah, Sherry, hopefully that gave you an update on the 601 a little bit. Okay, let's see. Protensky, what's the difference between U visa and VAWA? The quick answer, I do have a video on my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure about it. But the main difference is that U visa can be a bit more comprehensive in a sense that or broad that it doesn't have the victim. I mean, the perpetrator or abuser does not have to be a U.S. citizen, spouse, or resident who is a spouse, parent, or child. Okay, but VAWA does require one of one of those relationships. Okay, so again, for those folks who are considering VAWA, most people think of VAWA as being abused emotionally or physically by a U.S. citizen or resident spouse, but it can actually be done by your child, adult child, young minor child, or a parent. Okay. So, especially those folks who have been dealing with a lot of, cultural differences and things like that, trying to live in America and your parents giving you a hard time for whatever heck reason, that's possible. Can't promise for you, but it's possible. Just to start the conversation, okay? Don't give up on your legal status, folks. I am now losing my voice. So, folks, thank you so much. Today's Thursday, July 20th. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you live tomorrow on Friday. Wes, I see your question. I think you'll have to give us a call about that question, okay? All right, y'all have a wonderful day. And again, give us a call. Talk to you soon. Take care.